In today's video, I'm gonna give you the complete guide to trophy fishing, from how to get each trophy fish to a step-by-step guide to unlock each tier as fast as possible and get things like Thunder, Jabus, and the Talisman. I can guarantee the accuracy because I made a whole ass calculator and Desmos was pretty helpful. So to be able to fish a specific trophy fish, you first need to meet a requirement. The blobfish and lava horse are the only exceptions. You just need to fish in the Crimson Isles. The first group of trophy fish requires you to be in a specific place. The volcanic fish can only be fished in the volcano, slugfish in the stronghold, skeleton fish in the burning desert, moldfin in the mystic marsh, and karate fish in the dojo. Pay attention cause you can only fish in this pond. The others may look like they're in the dojo, but they are actually not. The sulfur skeeter and steaming hot flounder can also technically be in that category. To fish the sulfur skeeter you need to be standing up to 8 blocks from a sulfur block, which spawns after the volcano erupts, so if you don't find any, just switch lobbies. And the steaming hot flounder can only be fished when your bobber is inside the smoke puddles in the volcano. The bobber is, you throw the rod at the thingy, you know. The next group of trophy fish are the corrupted fish, which just now discovered called obfuscated, so I'm not really gonna say it, I'm just gonna say corrupted trophy fish. The first tier can be fished when you use the corrupted bait, but a much better way to get it is through corrupted sea creatures. And to get them you either need the corrupted totem or just the corrupt enchantment on your rod. I recommend just getting the totem. You can decide when you want to have the corrupted sea creatures and when you don't want, and it affects all the sea creatures instead of only 5%. To get tier 2 and 3 of the corrupted trophy fish, you need to use the previous tier as bait, which means that to fish tier 2, you need to use tier 1 as bait, and with the tier 2s you can get the tier 3s. The rest of the trophy fish just have random requirements. To catch vanilla you need to have a plain starter lava rod, which means you can't have any enchantments or a reforge. The golden fish spawns when you fish for about 15 to 20 minutes straight, and then you need to throw your rod at it and spam right click. After a couple of times, after it's a bit weakened, it will actually work and you'll get the trophy fish. To get the mana ray you need at least 1200 mana, but do not stop there because the chance increases the more mana you have. Gusher can be caught between 7 and 16 minutes after the volcano erupts, which there is no way to tell, so just fish and hope that it's the right time. To catch the slugfish, the time between casting your rod and pulling it out should be at least 20 seconds, but with the slug pet, which I'll later on discuss, you can halve this time to 10 seconds. And at last, flyfish can be caught if you are 8 blocks above the lava in the volcano. Now that you know how to get each trophy fish, it's time for the guide on how to get them in the fastest way possible. To get to bronze tier you only need 15 trophy fish out of the total 18. But before you even start to trophy fish, you should get at least a stack of tier 1 corrupted trophy fish from using the totem or just being in a lobby with someone that has a totem. After doing that you can actually start trophy fishing. Make sure that you do that before fishing level 27, where you can start getting sea creatures, which means that the total trophy fish you'll get is much lower. For trophy fishing you need to have as much fishing speed as possible. So the best bet is the flying fish, and the best armor is actually diver with festive. And that's because of the last perk of the flying fish, which gives you 20% more stats. Your equipment should be at least the rare one, And the best necklace is the Rift necklace with Snowy Reforge because it's a legendary rarity, so you get the most fishing speed. Now to get the most trophy fish from the least fishing, you need to meet as many requirements as you can. There are many ways to do this, but what I calculated to be the fastest was to start off fishing in the volcano inside the smoke puddle with a plain starter rod and with the corrupted trophy fish as bait. You should get as much mana as you can, be 8 blocks above lava, and make sure that your bobber is under a block and that your fishing speed is about 55 to be able to get the slugfish. I'll expand later on the exact speed that you need to be for the slugfish depending on your situation. This will allow you to get a lot of trophy fish, mainly vanilla, hot steaming flounder and tier 2 corrupted trophy fish. Once you get the slugfish and the steaming hot flounder, you can move to just being in the volcano and fishing as usual with your bobber under the sky. That's because fishing under a block means that you fish twice as slow. But more importantly, after you get the slugfish, you can change your setup to have again the most speed as possible. After you get the flyfish and the volcanic stonefish, you can move on to other specific locations that allow you to get specific trophy fish like the karate fish and the skeleton fish. And when you do that, try to be close to sulfur blocks to get the sulfur skitter. When you get vanilla anywhere in this process after getting the slugfish, you can start putting enchants and reforge your rod. And when you get the tier 2 corrupted trophy fish, you can start using just normal fish bait. So for a quick summary, try to get as many trophy fish at the same time. The best speed for the slugfish if you don't have the slug pet is 55 without lure and 5 with lure 6. After you get the vanilla you can put enchants, but you can't get 5 with the starter lava rod, so try to get it as low as possible. This will get you quickly to 15 bronze trophy fish and the bronze tier. Now it's time to move on to the guide for silver and above. The absolute fastest way is to get to level 35 and get a maxed hellfire rod, but you probably won't be able to do that. So I recommend getting at least the Inferno Rod with Charm 5 and at least level 5 fishing speed and trophy fish attributes. And if you have more money, then Festive on the Armor is great. The actual fishing is the same as bronze in the way that you just need to meet as many requirements as you can. The only difference from bronze is that from this point you'll have to get every trophy fish, not just 15. Which means that I do recommend a very similar way to the bronze, which is as follows. Get above 1200 mana for the mana ray, get a plain rod for vanilla, use tier 1 and then 2 corrupted fish as bait to get the tier 3. Fish 8 blocks above a smoke puddle in the volcano to get volcanic, steaming and fly fish. And have a slug pet for slugfish. After finishing with everything in the volcano, you can get all the other trophy fish which require a specific place like the karate fish. And anytime you finish a specific thing like the vanilla or the corrupted bait, you can switch to something that gives you more speed. But I do want to expand more on the slugfish and what is the optimal speed for it. For every other trophy fish, your fishing speed should be as high as possible, but for the slug you need a specific fishing speed. If you don't have the slug pet, then it's the same as I said in bronze. You should fish with a plain starter lava rod under a block with about 55 fishing speed, and if you already caught a vanilla, then with lure 6 you should have your fishing speed as low as possible. But if you do have the slug pet, then get under a block and be as close to 233 fishing speed, which again I recommend doing with the corrupted trophy fish as bait if you can. If you do that after getting the vanilli, then with lure 6, get under a block and get your speed to about 213. So to summarize, you have a table here for every scenario. And if you want to know the progression of regular fishing, I already made a great video about it. Come on, click it, I know you have nothing better to do.